Do you believe it? There is a way to store garlic that I didn't know about for 30 years. With just a few minutes, garlic can stay fresh, not dry, not sprouting for an entire year. It sounds difficult, but it's actually much simpler than you think. Garlic is an ingredient that is almost indispensable in the kitchen. From stir-frying, cooking, to marinating meat, just adding a little can make dishes much more fragrant. That's why many people often buy garlic in large quantities to use gradually. But the problem is, if not stored properly, garlic can easily dry out, lose its aroma, even sprout, and have to be thrown away, both wasteful and frustrating. Interestingly, a long-time garlic farmer has revealed to me some very effective tips that not everyone knows. If you want your garlic at home to always stay fresh, aromatic, and ready to use anytime, don't miss the methods below. Watch until the end, you'll want to apply them immediately. Method 1. Storing with baking soda and salt garlic is a common ingredient, but easily gets moldy or sprouts if not stored properly. A simple and effective tip is to use baking soda combined with coarse salt to keep garlic dry and fresh for longer. To do this, first choose dry, firm garlic bulbs that are not bruised or damaged. Never wash garlic before storing because moisture is the main cause of spoilage. Next, mix about 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda with 3 to 4 tablespoons of coarse salt. Then spread a thin layer at the bottom of a container. Then, place a layer of tissue paper or thin cloth on top to prevent direct contact between garlic and the mixture while still allowing moisture absorption. Once prepared, arrange the garlic into the container, avoiding packing it too tightly so it has space to breathe. Another small tip is to add a few peppercorns or bay leaves to help repel insects. Especially during rainy or humid weather, you can slightly increase the amount of salt to enhance moisture absorption. Finally, close the lid and store the container in a dry, well-ventilated place, away from direct sunlight or high humidity areas. With this method, garlic can be stored for 2 to 4 months while still maintaining its dryness and natural aroma. For best results, you should replace the baking soda and salt mixture every 2 to 3 weeks and check periodically to remove any spoiled bulbs. With just simple and easy-to-find ingredients, you can keep garlic fresh for a long time without using a refrigerator or preservatives. This is truly a small tip with big benefits, helping your kitchen stay neat and more convenient every day. Method 2. Storing garlic in a black plastic bag. Prepare a black plastic bag and put the garlic inside. Take a paper towel or gauze, add 2 tablespoons of salt, slice a few pieces of fresh ginger, place them on the towel, roll it up, and tie it tightly with a rubber band so the salt does not spill out. Place this ginger salt bundle into the garlic bag, squeeze out all the air, tie it tightly, and store it in a dry place. This method helps preserve garlic for up to 1 year. Spicy ginger helps prevent bacteria and absorb moisture. Salt also has antibacterial and moisture-absorbing properties, and the black bag blocks light and prevents sprouting. Even after a year, the garlic will not spoil. Method 3. A simple yet effective way to preserve garlic that few people notice is to use old plastic bottles, cutting off the necks, to store the garlic. This method keeps the garlic tidy, reduces moisture, and helps it last longer in the refrigerator. First, prepare a clean, washed, and dried plastic bottle, such as an empty water bottle or soda bottle. The garlic used for preservation should be dry, whole cloves, free from damage or moisture. Next, use scissors or a knife to cut open the neck of the bottle, creating a wide opening for easy insertion of the garlic. Gently place the garlic cloves inside the bottle. The garlic will be kept neatly organized, preventing it from spilling and limiting its exposure to humid air. After adding the garlic, use the lid to seal the bottle tightly. You can wrap tape around the cut area to prevent the garlic smell from spreading in the refrigerator and also to limit moisture from entering. Finally, place this bottle of garlic in the refrigerator's crisper drawer. Thanks to the cooler, drier environment, the garlic will stay dry, be less likely to sprout, and can be stored longer than if it were left outside. A helpful tip is to occasionally open the bottle cap for a few minutes to allow the garlic to air out, then close it and put it back in the refrigerator as before. This simple method not only helps the garlic last longer, but also keeps your kitchen tidy and clean. Storing garlic in plastic bottles is a convenient method because it utilizes old bottles, is easy to do, and is suitable for most households. If the bottles are kept dry and the garlic is initially dry enough, it can be stored for quite a long time while retaining its aroma and firm cloves. Method 4. Preserving minced garlic with plastic wrap is a very convenient little trick in the kitchen. If you already have peeled garlic, chop it finely for convenient use whenever you cook. Simply use a knife to mince the garlic cloves. After mincing the garlic, put it in a clean bowl. Add about 3 tablespoons of cooking oil and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then mix well so that the garlic is lightly coated in oil and salt. This method makes the garlic more fragrant and helps preserve it for longer. Please prepare a clean piece of plastic wrap. Lay the plastic wrap flat on a table or cutting board. Next, place the minced garlic in the center of the plastic wrap and spread it gently. Next, gently fold the edges of the plastic wrap and tightly wrap the garlic inside. You should press lightly to push out the air before wrapping it tightly. This helps to minimize the garlic's exposure to air, thus preserving its aroma and preventing discoloration. After wrapping, you can place the package of garlic in an airtight container or Ziploc bag. Then put it in the freezer. When needed, simply take out a small portion. The garlic will be very easy to separate thanks to the thin membrane that has been laid out beforehand. With this simple method, minced garlic can be stored for about 2 to 3 weeks while still retaining its aroma and quality quite well. This is a little trick that will save you a lot of time every time you cook. Method 5 is the simplest one, and I usually use it when I buy garlic in bulk. When garlic is in season, it's cheap, and I buy large quantities to store, so I need a well-ventilated storage method. If you also often store large quantities of garlic, then this tip is worth trying. First, I put the whole garlic cloves into a small paper or cardboard box like this one. I do this because the cardboard box allows for good air circulation. The garlic inside won't get damp or stuffy, so it spoils much slower. Just a little moisture can cause garlic to sprout or soften very quickly. Therefore, for me, keeping the garlic dry from the start is the most important thing. Next, I took a tissue. Add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of baking soda to the center. Then wrap it up neatly like this. It's such a joy that we're connecting from all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support. I used a rubber band to tie it loosely, just enough so that the salt wouldn't spill out. Then I placed this packet of salt in a corner of the garlic box. At this point, the salt will absorb some of the moisture in the air, keeping the garlic dry and reducing the risk of mold. I really like this method because the salt is quite mild. It doesn't change the smell of the garlic and doesn't affect the flavor. With this arrangement, the garlic has a dry, airy, and stable environment. As a result, the garlic can be stored for longer while retaining its flavor as when it was first purchased. I store the whole box in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. What I find most interesting is that with just one very familiar kitchen ingredient, garlic can be preserved for 3 to 5 months. This method is really convenient, especially when you store large quantities of garlic or when your kitchen is quite airtight. You will always have garlic readily available without worrying about sprouting, mold, or losing its aroma. Method 6. But if you want garlic always ready to cook without having to peel or crush it every time you enter the kitchen, then you'll definitely like this next tip. I start with pre-peeled garlic cloves like this, then put it in a food processor. I added 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This helps stabilize the garlic after grinding, limiting bacterial growth. At the same time, it also helps prevent the garlic from darkening and losing its aroma too quickly during storage. Next, I blend until the mixture thickens. It doesn't need to be blended too finely. Leaving it slightly lumpy will make the garlic more fragrant when cooked. After mincing the garlic, I divided it into 2 portions. I put 1 portion into ice cube trays like this, with each compartment just enough for 1 cooking session. When needed, I simply take out a cube and use it immediately without measuring or preparing anything extra. Then I put the tray back in the freezer. And that's it. This method helps me preserve garlic for about 6 to 12 months. I put the remaining garlic in a small glass jar. This portion can be used for about 2 to 4 weeks. The garlic stays fresh, is very convenient, and doesn't need to be thawed each time you use it. Note that you should leave about 1 centimeter of space below the rim of the jar like this. Then, I poured another layer of olive oil on top to prevent air from coming into direct contact with the garlic, especially to avoid the garlic darkening when the jar was opened. I use this jar of garlic in many different ways, like mixing it into salads, spreading it on toast, or adding it directly to stir fries. Every dish becomes more delicious this way. Just close the lid tightly and put it back in the refrigerator. Whether you have a lot of garlic or just a little, choose the method that suits you best and is most convenient. For me, these tips are simple and easy to follow, helping garlic last longer and making cooking easier. If you find these methods helpful, save them for later use or share them with your family to save money and reduce waste. Method 7. Preserving garlic in flour. Prepare a dry glass jar or plastic container. Pour a layer of flour about 2 to 3 centimeters thick at the bottom of the jar. Add garlic to the jar until it's full. You can sprinkle a thin layer of flour lightly over the top of the garlic. It doesn't need to cover it completely. Add a few grains of salt to increase its moisture-absorbing capacity. Keep the lid tightly closed and store in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. The layer of flour at the bottom absorbs moisture from the air and the steam released by the garlic, preventing mold from forming at the bottom of the jar. Garlic can be kept dry and fragrant for about 2 to 3 months. Method 8. Preserving garlic with bay leaves. Prepare dried garlic, choosing firm, uncracked cloves. I use glass jars for storage. Place a layer of garlic at the bottom of the jar. Place a layer of bay leaves on top. Alternately layer garlic and bay leaves in the jar. Bay leaves contain natural essential oils that help fight bacteria, prevent mold, and repel insects. Storing it with garlic helps extend its shelf life and creates a mild, pleasant aroma. You can add a few whole black peppercorns to enhance its antifungal properties. Once full, close the lid tightly and store in a dry place. Garlic can be stored for 3 to 4 months without molding or sprouting. I find this method quite unique, aesthetically pleasing, and suitable for storing garlic for quick use in the kitchen. Method 9. Soaking garlic in olive oil. To begin, separate the garlic cloves and peel them. Next, place the garlic in a clean glass jar. You can leave the cloves whole if you prefer a milder flavor, or lightly crush them to release more of the garlic's aroma. Next, pour in olive oil until the garlic is completely submerged. Close the lid tightly. It's best to store the jar of garlic in the refrigerator and use it within 2 to 3 weeks to ensure quality. When using it, you can use the oil for frying, stir-frying, or mixing, while the garlic can be used directly in cooking. The aroma is milder than fresh garlic, but is very pleasant and convenient. With just one simple preparation, you'll have an ingredient readily available to make cooking faster and tastier every day. Which method do you like best? Please share in the comments. If you have a better tip, don't hesitate to share it. I'd love to learn too. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, share with family and friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next great tips. See you in the next video.